I think you need to move a little bit to the center of your camera.
Okay. Hello everyone, and good afternoon, and welcome to the GPUVerse live dialogues. This is actually the 9th edition. I'm Najma Nui, I'm a Web3 journalist, and I'm very excited to be today here hosting this amazing panel discussion that's actually focused on the women who are shaping the future and actually making also the present of AI and Web3. Now, actually, if you are joining us for the first time, GPUVerse Live Dialogues is actually a global conversation series powered by GPU.net, which is the decentralized compute layer that helping companies or businesses build the next era of AI, Web3, and digital infrastructure. We have been hosting many gatherings in cities like Bangalore, like Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and today we are bringing the same energy online and connecting brilliant minds from across the world. Our theme for today is amazing, honestly: empower, build, decentralized. And our topic is women shaping the future of AI, Web3, building, leading, and innovating in the age of decentralized compute. So this session is all about spotlighting the women who are not participating in the tech, but not just participating in tech, but also driving it forward, from developers to strategists to ecosystem builders, and also the leaders who are building and the founders who are building the decentralized future. To unpack all this and to help us break down this main topic, we are actually joined by two distinguished voices. We have Zara Zamani, the Chief of Product and Technology Officer and the co-founder at B Plus Venture. She's joining us from Sweden, and we have also Anita Garligres, and well known as the Crypto Granny. She's the founding member at Syntopia, and she's actually joining us from Dubai today. So, ladies, let's just dive right into the topic and hear from the women who are like you, who are redefining the innovation, the inclusion, and also the leadership of the new era, or the new sector of the decentralized era. So before we start, I want to really to give a chance or an opportunity to each of you to introduce yourself, like in your own words. And Anita, would you like to start?
Thank you very much. That would be my great pleasure. So just like you said, my name is Anita Kalergis, and I'm known as Crypto Granny. And Crypto Granny because, yes, I am an actual grandmother for two. So I'm 62 years old at the moment, and exploring this world with the great excitement. I have a background in sales and marketing, so I'm one of those who is not a techie. I challenge the techies, people like Zara, ask many questions, demand answers I understand, and challenge them because all of this, what is happening around us today, for me, basically sends a message of that with the help of this technology or technologies that we have around us today in many various forms, will allow us to trust again. Because for me, we as human beings, we haven't done so very well so far. So the technology would bring back, if you wish, the element of trust between, interactions and transactions, and being able to, worldwide get together, because obviously the globe is coming smaller day by day. And Syntopia is an NFT project that is running on crypto.com NFT. And what excites me there and in my role there is basically that NFTs, non-fungible tokens, is one form of this new technology that is in many cases a bit strange or unknown for people, and we really connect the creators and creative minds in form of art and music and bring them together and really try to showcase how NFTs as just one product in this technology is something that people actually could use and utilize to many things. For example, in all of it, and makes me very happy to be here today and join this panel.
Amazing. Thank you very much. So, Zara, please tell us more about you.
Yeah, sure. So, hi everyone. I'm Zara Zamani, CP2 and 4 Plus, and co-founder at 4 Plus Ventures. And I'm very excited to be here and share some of my experience and be challenged by Crypto Granny because that's what she does. Challenges people like us who are techie. So I have a technical background, and I have an engineering background and a PhD in blockchain technology. And I'm a co-founder of a venture builder and investment firm in Sweden. We are actively building and co-building at the intersection of Web3 AI and investing in this exponential technologies. We have a good size portfolio of gaming and entertainment, but also AI agents. I mean, everyone has to have agents in their portfolio today, and also RWA infrastructure, and so we have a good distribution of infra to consumer level. So yeah, I'm excited to be here, and let's see what this discussion brings.
Thank you very much. So let's also start by setting the stage. And recently we are witnessing an incredible shift where women are leading in both AI and Web3. How do each of you see women shaping the current and the future landscape of decentralized innovation? Zara, would you like to start?
Yeah, sure. Well, to be honest, I always tell my team that not because I'm a woman, but I see blockchain as a feminine technology, right? I'm partially a scientist too, and if you are interested, and I'm a very, very, very much interested in political and social science equally as I am in tech as well. So in social sciences, there is a scientist called Hofstede, cultural studies, and Hofstede always describes feminine culture as a sharing and caring culture, and masculine culture as a culture of power and money, right? And when I read the first time I read the white paper of Bitcoin, and then I read the philosophy of it, the inclusivity, decentralization, democratization, and transparency, and all of that, I immediately saw this feminine culture in this technology, right? It was, of course, we weren't very lucky to have a lot of females or women involved at the early stages, but I think eventually, I would say the biggest support in introducing women to this industry was NFTs era. So when the NFT wave came, a lot of women stepped into the industry because then it really required a creative mind to be here in the industry. And that's the time a lot of women were introduced. I'm very, very happy to see that over the time, because I've been in this industry for 14 years now. So I'm very happy to see that we had that NFT wave. We had a lot of creative mind and a lot of female founders stepping into the industry. And then eventually, the past 2-3 years, I call it the protocol wave. The protocol waves then again gave a lot of technical presence to women. So we still do lack a lot of technical women in the industry, but I think the protocol era gave a lot of presence to women. The next wave is the investment wave. We need more women in investment in this industry. So that's how I see the journey of women in industry. Are we underrepresented? For sure, but that's very common because the industry we're talking about is the combination of technology and finance, which are both very, very male dominant industries. So
That's amazing. And Anita?
My approach to this is actually, again, very, how would I say, common sense. Uh, like a bit from a like a principle way. I'm not too keen on, and I've never been, especially within the the technology conversations about this dividing male female, because for me this is for humanity and for all the humans, and how we can become better version of ourselves going forward, when the world we used to know, where you, in order to communicate, you had a messenger in the ancient Greek, Greece, and the messenger was, it was written, and he took the horse and rode and find the people. Or then in my youth, when I left first time to work abroad, we were sending snail mails, letters that took 2 weeks to travel, and then whatever. So now basically something happens anywhere in the world, and in 2 minutes we are aware of that, whether it's good or bad. So that the technology, the power within the technology is so huge. So we should rather find ways to get together and be together than defining the profiles in gender wise, because the technology is the same whether you're, regardless your age, your religion, your background, your gender. So that's a starting point for me. But then the very down to earth or common sense thing, if we want to discuss, like, okay, women, what is the role we play? It's again the role of a woman from the start. We are the mothers, we are the sisters, we are the wives, we are the grandmothers, and so on. So the role we play in the humanity is guiding, teaching, growing, right? And that's a very natural role that a woman has in various ways, but it kind of is inbuilt within us. And that's a power that we are not utilizing necessarily in the best way, acknowledging. So when we do the separation, that, as we speak home, or at least in my age group of people, there's women's work and men's work in the household, right? So my husband did not do dishes. That's my job. But I will not carry the mattresses out from the house. That's his job, kind of a thing. So in this context, what I want to say is that maybe we should, as women, seek for the natural spot in all of this and take the natural role that belongs to us, in a way that, we are the ones asking the questions. What makes sense here? Or do I want my child to be involved in this? It comes, I believe, from it's in our DNA. And if we just go with the natural instinct and take the role in this space like we would do anywhere else, then I feel that, it would not be anything challenging for anyone, and it would not be anything surprising for anyone, but it will again be just a natural thing that happens. Oh, that's the way women are, in good and in bad, right? But here we should use it ourselves. So for me, this comes a lot actually back to us looking into the mirror and saying, okay, what did we do in order to constrain or have the place where we, or spot where we actually would want to be? Did we just expect someone to come and say, maybe you should sit there? Or do I walk in and say, guys, this is where I think is a good spot for me to be? I don't know.
That's
my
amazing.
approach on this.
I think this is really a nice way to shift this transformation that we are seeing currently in the market. And I'm really glad that I have two people from two completely different backgrounds, but in the same time they are really completing each other, because today we have a lot of tech people who are actually talking tech and saying a lot of difficult words, and we need marketing people who can simplify the language and transfer the message to the final consumer in the way that the normal person can understand the message and can understand the technology without going to the details, like the detail of how this technology was built or what the things that were used and things like that. So, and going back to Zara, you have a background, like your background is about like working at the intersection of investment and blockchain leadership. And from your perspective, actually, I wanted to know, how are women driving innovation and growth across Web3 and decentralized compute? This is like, I want to also, if you can share some use cases or like some real examples you have witnessed.
Yeah, of course. I mean, today the world of blockchain has changed tremendously from 10, even 5 years ago. We have a lot of women in leadership roles. We have a lot of women in decision making. Like I said, there's still a lot of room to grow, but we have a lot of women already in those positions. And I think, and it's really interesting. But when I look back at my history of designing blockchain solutions, so I'm a technologist for sure, but since maybe because I was good at math, but I also became a tokenomics designer, right? So I have always designed the economy design of the solutions that I built as well. So and that's quite at the heart of the blockchain solution. The token economy design is what will probably kill a project or make the project survive, right? So and I would say that's probably one of the most, if not the most, one of the most complicated things in building blockchain solutions and building that token-based economy world that we want, the Web3 world that we want, designing the economy of it. And interestingly, for the past few years, if I claim more than 90%, I'm not wrong, of the economists who understood how to design a decentralized economy for a blockchain solution were women. So I worked, if I had trained or if I hired or if I worked with teams, majority were women, because they understood what it means to make an inclusive and a sustainable economy. That they understood it by nature, what it means to give back to your community, what it means to design a community-driven economy, right? Whereas every time I had more males, I had to train them a lot. That it's not only about capital gain, it's also about sharing. It's also about designing a sustainable economy, long run. You know, this solution is to survive on its own. So I would say that's the major role of women, like the governance design, so the economy and the governance design in blockchain solutions today is way more complicated than the tech. People assume that the tech is complicated, they don't understand it. No, the tech is the least of your problems. The governance design and the economy design is what makes a blockchain solution complicated. And I can vote here that women are much better in designing governance these models and economy models in blockchain world, in Web3 and decentralized solutions, because all of the values that blockchain wants to by nature offer, which is decentralization, transparency, inclusivity, and democratization, these are the values that is by default in nature of is in feminine nature, right? So women don't have to train themselves to learn how to think in an inclusive way, whereas majority of the men have to. So I think that's the power that women totally underestimate in themselves when they talk about electricity. And I think we will see more and more female stars in this area moving forward, honestly.
That's actually awesome. And actually, I can also like make sure that the women actually maybe have more attention to details, and so that gives them and more multitask. So, and also the blockchain, when it comes to the blockchain and this kind of era, it's new for everyone, not just for women. And I think it's the time that everyone contribute in its way to build the next era, the next finance. Because obviously, if the current monetary system or the current financial system is working and is fair for everyone, I don't think that we would like to change it. So because the current system is not fair for everyone and it's not inclusive, I think everyone now, the women and the men, are all trying to contributing and trying to collaborate to build the next ecosystem and the next financial system, the next monetary system that's fair for everyone and for every community as well. I wanted to go back to Anita. Anita, you have been in the market from the beginning in the Web3 ecosystem. And what challenges do women still face when trying to break into the AI and the blockchain industry in general?
The challenge is, well, basically, first of all, if you think that, well, the biggest barrier obviously here is the perception. So I believe that we all have more or less this old idea that, tech, AI, and blockchain are only for coders and engineers. So people like Zara, for instance, but for sure not for everyday women, right? So and then many of us, even for myself in the very beginning, you might be unable to see where you fit, and we all today, young or old, use technology somehow in our everyday life. So basically, it comes down to just sort of a bit like Zara said already, understanding that the technology itself, that's not the complicated one. That's actually quite straightforward, but everything related. Then, of course, there is the access. That is another issue, the access to the networks, to the support, and of course, the confidence, like I said, to have the bravery to just take the first step and say, okay, I want in, I want to be part of this. And all of that for me starts at home. So again, if we think that women and our role in all of this, so if a growing girl, or like in my case, for instance, when my granddaughters, they see what the granny is up to, or the teacher at school, or whoever else is using tech with ease, and utilizing it in many ways, obviously she will grow up thinking that, okay, that's part of all of this. And I can assure that my granddaughters are actually 10 and 6. And I always say that they were born a mobile phone in their hands, right? So they are, that part of technology already is there with them. And then, of course, when, uh, or rather, that's why we want to get more women into tech, but it's not only, we don't talk about equality in the same way as discussed already, but every mother and sister and wife and grannies, uh, we are influencers. We have influence in all of this, some smaller and some bigger, again by nature. So we shape how our families learn, what our kids study, or what they may look from the social media, or from YouTube, or TV for that matter. And even how our communities around us adapt to all of this change. We influence, our friends, and the girl night out, or girl dinners, or whatever. We influence each other. So all in all, you could say that if women would choose to stay outside tech in general, uh, a lot of talent would be lost for sure, but also maybe a whole generation of thinkers and influencers would be lost from all of this. So for me, the big picture is that it doesn't matter whether it's AI or whether it's blockchain or tokenomics or whatever department or part of all of this we talk about. It's the mindset and how we choose to position ourselves in it, what role we choose to play in it, and the overall acceptance or positivity around it, for me, plays the biggest role. Like I said, my granddaughters or even my daughters, I mean, they are adults. One of them is a mother herself already. They look at me and they say, okay, uh, my mother, 60 plus years old, and she knows so much more about cryptos than I do. But at the same time, I can hear from them that the acceptance or some kind of approval around this topic that many years already has been so wrongly uh, wrongly out there, and yet without any conversation of the topic in itself, like really, I could sense and feel that my daughters were sort of accepting the topic already because they saw me involved with it and in it. So women and all of this, it's so much bigger than just defining details, but understanding the overall big picture. And in there, I want to uh, you know uh, agree with Zara that the technology itself is not difficult, but how we run or govern everything around it and which role we want to be or have in it.
Okay, Anita, I want to really to elaborate with you what you exactly was talking about, the challenges that the women faced, and in the same time, you mentioned this, the acceptance of the community around us. Like, I think we hear a lot about the gender gap in the cryptocurrency and the Web3 or something like that, but like, are there is really barriers to the women to the enter the market? Like, this is a reality, or just like we overreact in it, or like the media is making it, taking it in the wrong way, or the social media highlighting that there is a gap, there is a gender gap. However, we see like amazing ladies who are leading the market, CEOs, founders, strategists, experts from the around the world. They are really ladies, and they are doing so much in the market. But in the same time, we are like, do really we need to the community acceptance to go to through something? Because for me, let's say that I entered the market in 2022 to 22 really, but I was learning about it since 2019. And when I decided to go there, I really didn't search about what people around me would think. That when I started talking about blockchain, Web3, cryptos, like I found like, yeah, people are amazed about that. Oh, she knows about something that related to money, and it sounds like it's difficult to talk about money and discuss money while you are a girl or a female. But do we really need the community acceptance to be in this field? And do these challenges are actually just for female because we are women, or just it's also for everyone, like the challenges we are currently in the market and the ones you have mentioned regarding also including, sorry, the technology and the tech aspect, there are challenges for both genders, or just for female?
Well, first of all, when I started to go into these meetups in 2017, there was not so many women out there. Today, there is much more, and that is already a change. But the true, I would approach this question, which is a very good one, by the way, from slightly different angle. For me, it comes down to what do I have to say? What is it that I'm speaking about or introducing or so does it have value? Is it interesting? Is it appealing? So and sometimes I've seen it myself that a person, a female person, that is very, very smart and knowledgeable and has, has studied and whatever, when she puts the sort of a technology know-how hat on, half of her disappears. And for me, it's because maybe she feels that she doesn't know enough, or I recognize that in myself in the beginning of this journey, when I felt that I was not able to use the appropriate language or the right wordings. Still today, my biggest challenge in life is all these shortenings, like CPT or SEO or whatever, because it's not my native language, and I just always can't remember the words that, search engine optimization or chief product technology officer or whatever. So this is a bit similar thing. But if I know what I want to say, if I have a message to send, um, it shows and people can feel that. So again, I am lifting up the mirror and saying that maybe some of the barriers or some of the reasons why women are not so actively necessarily jumping in or you know going on stage is because of what they think rather than the community around. And if you have a solid message, or if your know-how is there, and then you just understand to what kind of audience you're talking, so you're to send your message out there, so everyone here heavy tech meeting to explain, am I able to explain myself appealingly or interestingly enough when I'm not able to reach that kind of tech talk level that these people usually communicate with, right? So the barriers for me are mainly and mostly with ourselves. And then, of course, the community and the women power angle, if we want to pull that in, and why not? Of course, we should empower and encourage each other as human beings, but especially amongst the women, because we know that we are built in the same way. So we all check, oh, is my lipstick correct? And is my makeup good? My hair nice? And my clothing okay with me before I step out from the door to take the rubbish back, right? That's the way we are. So maybe there we can do it for each other. Just, oh, yeah, girl, go up there and, show them, just for the sake of showing the support. Not necessarily that she needs it, but it feels good always when someone tells something like that to you. So that's how I would approach this.
Can I
A
add
bit
something?
old school, I know, but still.
Absolutely. Please, sir.
Yeah. Can I add something to this?
Absolutely. Yes. Absolutely.
I totally agree with everything you mentioned, Anita. I might have a little bit of a different way of looking at it, though. Is there a challenge there for women? Absolutely. Is that getting easier? Not at all. Not at all. Does it get horribly more difficult when you become a senior woman or a leader and a decision maker? 200%. It gets way, way more difficult, right, to be included in the discussions. So even if you know all the language, right? I have a PhD in the technology. I've built every blockchain solution you can imagine. I advised EU for 3 years. I built EPSI, and I've done all of it. Am I still included in a lot of the discussions that men have? No. And it doesn't really matter that you know all the technical language. You can, in majority of the occasions, I can talk even better than them. I can talk way better than them. I probably know even a lot more than many of them in the room, right? But that's exactly why I will not be played with. I will not be one of the players, right? So and that gap, gender gap, 100% exists, and it's not getting any better. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. If you look at the statistics before COVID, 3%, 3.5% of the investments in tech would go to female founders investors. Still horribly low, but now, today, as we're speaking, less than 1.5% of investors go to female founders.
So it goes worse.
Which is huge gap, and it's getting way worse. And you think that's easier in many of the countries. Like, I'm based in Sweden, right? Sweden is known as the paradise of women, right? That's where no, it's not. It's not like that. That's a stereotype. It's equally difficult in countries like Sweden. On paper, things look very different from reality, right? In countries like North Europe or in countries that have a lot of strong women, right? The gap gets even worse. Do you know why? Because when a woman is in leadership, they take it as you had to be there to fix the gender balance issue, not because you deserved to be there.
Yeah.
That's how they look at you in the room. They immediately see that, okay, she's there because they had to fix a gender balance. Not that she deserved to be there, not that she knows her shit. No, it's because she was there to fix a gender balance issue. So that gap is not getting any better. And do we have to seek for community acceptance? Not at all, because that will never happen. That will never happen. The moment we stop doing our own thing and start asking for community acceptance, that's when we fail, right? The only thing we need to do is just to continue building. And I very much agree with Anita when she says that we don't believe in ourselves. I think the imposter syndrome in women is killing a lot of our potential. And I think women need to let that go. It's okay if you don't speak technical language. Go out there and talk, because that's what what the investor wants to know is not if you have all the technical terms and languages in your word, but if they want to see that you're a go-getter. They want to see that you're an entrepreneur they can trust, right? That you know how to build a business. So the moment we do not need to seek acceptance. We just need to go there, continue building, be resilient, be consistent, don't give up, and continue building. That's what men did for centuries and centuries when women didn't even have voting power. So we are like probably centuries behind them. Now we really need to work much harder to get closer and close this gender gap. It's not even their fault. It's because we are centuries behind in progress. So we need to really work harder on that.
Zara,
amazing.
Thank you. Now I need to jump in a bit. Please allow me. First of all, I don't remember if we mentioned it already on the live part, but I come originally from Finland, right? So next door to Sweden. What you said about this gender gap, and you're feeling it because of 100% with you, I agree. This has very much to do with where you're located, region-related matter. And unfortunately, I have to agree with you. I'm very disappointed how the EU, but especially the Nordics, are doing in regards what you just said. But for me, I blame ourselves, women, because we wanted to be independent, and surely we want to be independent, and there's nothing wrong with it. For me, we have pushed it a bit too much, maybe, which has led to exactly what you said. We did not get where we wanted to go, but actually we created another problem that now we are struggling with. Now, on the other hand side, I have the opportunity. I've been living 10 years in the UAE. I've been, 15 years in total doing business here and working from here or to here. And I've seen the change here. And of course, it kind of is that, we want to bring everyone up. But at the same time, I can see and feel the change coming more naturally. And the positions are spread based on more on what people actually are capable of and can, and also where they fit. But in this big context, my take is that what I see is that it's kind of accepted some separation in departments or roles, as you're female and you're a male, right? Which we in the Nordics, for instance, we want to forget. They don't exist. So one has led to another. So what we're definitely not there where we wanted to go. And just to be clear that if I want to be accepted and if I need the community acceptance around me, there are ways to gain that and there are ways to get that. But if you're true to yourself and confident and know what I want to, introduce or speak about, I don't need to seek for it and I don't need it, just like you said, Zara. So that there I want to, clarify a bit what I said. So it's not something that we should be seeking, but if
Absolutely.
it's helpful
Yeah.
and supportive, why
No,
not?
yeah.
And that's
Absolutely.
where women should stick
Like,
together.
it's in our nature, right? I think we should stop asking for acceptance and earn their respect. When you earn their respect by getting things done and doing it the right way, then they automatically accept you, right? And at the end of the day, we're human, and in human nature, we want to be accepted. We like to be accepted. Yeah.
Correct.
So, ladies, thank you very much for highlighting on the real challenges that they are in the market, and they are there. So sometimes we have to remind everyone about what's going on in the real life, and that's amazing. Also, as proved from both of you, it's actually no need at all to seek for the acceptance from the community, and no one needs an approval to go to something that he loves and he wants to work on, for example, whatever the sector is, AI or Web3 or even like any kind of other traditional fields. Zara, I want to also to back to you, and here we are going to talk about the opportunities that the decentralized infrastructure and the decentralized finance Web3 brings to the table. Do you think that decentralized infrastructure can help create more equal opportunities for female founders, like as compared to the traditional tech world?
Absolutely, 100%. And the reason why again is because when you have decentralized platforms for, let's say, for fundraising, giving the example of investment that we were talking about, right? So what people look at, if I tell you 100% that a female founder doing a fundraising on a decentralized protocol doesn't affect, I'm totally lying. But then the chances are much less, like compared to if a female founder does a fundraising on a decentralized protocol, the chances of getting investment is much higher than going to a VC, right? Because when you raise through thousands and thousands of people, how many of these people are going to be sexist? Let's say 30% of them are sexist. There is still 70% that actually invest in you without seeing your gender, right? Whereas when you go to VCs, it's proven, statistically proven, majority of them are sexist. So you have no chance. Then I will say, yes, definitely decentralized protocols are going to empower women in fundraising, empower women in investment. And of course, when women have more power of investment, they will invest in the platforms or protocols that will basically align with that culture of sharing and caring more. Of course, now I'm not going to make women look like angels, that we're all angels, everyone sharing and caring, and men are men's monsters. No, there's always a good side and bad side to both. But do I think that the decentralization or tokenization protocols are going to support women? 100%. Not only women, any gender, any geographical limitations. There is majority of the African countries are excluded today in the financial systems. Majority of Latin American countries are excluded. All of them are going to be included. Majority of LGBTQ plus community in many of the countries in the world are excluded. Everyone is going to be included. And of course, that will women too.
From your perspective, Anna, because you are in the marketing, in the way that how to attract people to go into something, my question is, how important are mentorship and community and also visibility in closing that gap, like gender gap in this decentralized sector, and encouraging more women to step into the space?
Well, first of all, mentorships in general, I find them very, very valuable, and it's for me, it's in simple words, it's just like hand holding another person and making sure that the steps she or he takes, you know, this person doesn't slip, because I've been through this path and I know where, you know, you might step wrong or find a hole or whatever. So it's hand holding all along. So sort of safeguarding and helping out, and at the same time obviously educating and teaching. But in bigger picture, so the obviously mentorship and communities in general are the you know, the real infrastructure, the basis of decentralization. So it's not just the protocols or the blockchain or the technology, but these softer elements are very important. So when a woman sees another woman building and speaking and just daring to learn something new or different, it sends a message that, okay, uh, you belong, or I belong here as well, or you're welcome as well, because the you know, the community is there, and if the mentorship is there as well, then that's even more valuable. So an ecosystem driven initiatives, again, where when we are talking of you know, decentralization and a technology that is you know, will be decentralized one day. So women-led boot camps or grants or just local meetups, they give the women the tools, but also hopefully the confidence to feel that, okay, I'm on the right path. There's more women around me, so I just keep going. And with the confidence that, you know, each and every woman gains, obviously that travels fast. So one woman learning tech often means obviously that the children and the ecosystem around her gets at least curious, right? What are you up to? What new are you learning there? Or maybe the husband starts asking questions or wondering what is she dealing with? And I've seen this firsthand, that my friends just keep asking me again, you know, what are you, Granny, up to? And what is this you're really involved with, whatever? And then next time I see and hear that they have actually explored or checked out a few things. So the curiosity is there, the interest is there, that probably empowers others. And then mentors and mentorship here obviously, you know, raises as the mentor steps up on another level, where it's very easy to you know, feel confident and believe that I can do this, and you know, we women can stick together if that's the approach one wants to see. And in the same way, by behaving like this, we can also normalize innovation and normalize the ecosystem functionalities around this. So we just, you know, expand one, I don't know, circle at a time. So like I said, there is a lot of inbuilt superpowers within us, but one for women, again, that we are natural network builders, right? So networking is very natural to us. And since uh, decentralization or the technology to decentralize also runs on networks, if you wish. So empowering women is actually the most efficient scaling strategy, if you wish, in any industry for that matter, but especially here where the mentorship can really handhold you further and from woman to woman build the network and the ecosystem that can support you, and especially in the investment side of things, Zara, because that is something that I've seen a lot and I've heard a lot, that women investors don't necessarily invest in women-led projects, or men are hesitant. And I'm aware of that in France, they built up, or they created a women investors group that were looking into specifically finding women-led projects that they would invest in. And I think after 2 or 3 years, I no longer heard about them. So it seems to me that it was not that successful, and it's kind of natural again.
To be
But
honest,
what I would want,
I personally, as a female
mm,
investor, I usually avoid those groups, and I tell you
yeah,
why. Yeah, but Najma, you want to add something?
yeah, no,
Yeah,
just quickly. Yeah, please.
absolutely.
I just wanted to conclude very quickly. So in this particular context, I think the mentors should play the big role because they are kind of external. They are not directly connected to the leader or the project owner, but they, as mentors, could actually connect the dots and make investment decisions. What are you building? How much will you make? How soon? And who is building it doesn't really matter if you can prove and showcase that actually you're building something sustainable that will make money. So my ROI comes back as whatever I'm expecting. So doesn't matter who builds it, right?
That's
Yeah.
great. Thank you.
Now I stop.
So just to add this non-information, I really don't want to mention any name here, but I remember it was a study made by one of the biggest crypto exchange last year, and the study was about how women. It was on, I think it was on the International Women Day, and about how women are investing in crypto and in the Web3 space generally. And the report concluded like the women actually make research more than the men, but the man or the male gender invest easier than the woman, like they take risk more, but the woman, their investment or their decision in investing in a project or something, it could not be really relate to who is behind the project by that, but they study the project more further and go into the details more behind the technical aspect, behind who created that project itself. So yeah, it's really nice to support women's projects, but the women, when they came to invest, they will not invest on one criteria, which is like the founder of this project is a woman or something like that. They really like women are making more research and they pay attention, and they also like we are all into the news and going back to the news or the things that related to the project we are in, for example. This is just as an ad for that, what you really was talking about, Anita. And now I wanted to move to Zara and talk about completely a different thing, the innovation and like your experience as well, Zara. Like diversity always sparks innovation. And from your experience, how does having more women in leadership roles influence how we design and how we train and how like govern AI systems?
Yes. Before I get to this, I added something in the previous question I need to finish, right? I said that I usually avoid joining these groups of women investors and all of that, right? And I have to explain why I do that. First of all, as a female investor, I actively like to invest in women founders, for sure, 100%. And generally, because we are 3 co-founders, 2 are female. Naturally, we get a lot of female applicants for investment, right? And we invest, of course, for sure, and I like that. But then, by associating ourselves with a lot of these groups, what we unfortunately experienced is much more difficulty for our portfolio companies to fundraise with co-investors who are not female investors, because then they see us, oh, these are some group of female investing together, right? Then they don't co-invest with us. They don't come in and co-invest in our portfolio. So that's why we strategically talk about it. We are very careful how we position ourselves, right? But we actively try to invest and team up with, other investors, but we don't necessarily scream about it, to be honest, because I think for some years we need to build the foundation in silence. Then we can be loud about it. But that's one thing. And then when it comes to diversity, we are 3 co-founders in 4+ Ventures. We are more than 80 people in the company, and then we have about 15 portfolio companies. Our third co-founder, who is a man, he was my co-founder in my fintech business as well, so I know him for years and years. And he always says that the reason behind his success is that he always hired more women, right? That he was surrounded by smart women. And to be honest, when I look at successful entrepreneurs, majority of them are surrounded by smart women in their team. So having women in our company, we are more than 50% women, right? And it's not like we really honestly didn't actively wanted to hire women. It just naturally became the thing because they were doing a better job, right? And I think that eventually this is amazing, especially in our strategic meetings, because then, for example, in our leadership, in our C-level, we are 6 people, and 3 men and 3 women, right? We're exactly 50-50. And we have totally different perspectives, the way we look at things, right? The way we make decisions is totally different perspective. Sometimes it's really eye-opening for me as a woman to listen the perspective of the male on the board. Sometimes we can add a totally different perspective that they didn't think about it. And there is one thing that I love. This is not a statistically proven, it's not a scientific thing, it's just by experience. Women have a dramatically stronger sixth sense that we see what's coming. And I think I love that because it adds a lot of value, even in tech design, right? The way we see future is different. The way we design a tech is different. We naturally design a technical platform, because that's what I actively do. We naturally design a technical platform that can survive at least for a decade, that is scalable, right? And when we say a decade in what we're building is a lot of years, right? And that is scalable, that can be built for future. And that's, I think, amazing. The diversity that women bring, that the different perspective that women bring, regardless of their role, if it's technical or if it's governance or if it's marketing or if it's business development, it's amazing. And but I can't also say that a female-only team will be successful. No, I think a perfect mix of these different perspectives will make the best performing team.
That's amazing. Thank you very much. And you highlighted really the qualities that the women bring as women to the market, and what that make them really like this kind of sixth sense, paying attention to details, multitasking as well. That's what makes someone successful when they are behind them. Anita, let's start with you about the future. Let's move to the future and talk about it. And starting with you, what one powerful step that could truly make decentralized tech more inclusive and gender balanced, in your opinion?
Well, to do one thing only, I would make the tech learning more accessible, more visible, and more shared. So lower the entry point dramatically, I would say. So just bring the technology into family life. Uh, Mothers and daughters, sisters, grannies, explore it together, have access to it, share and easy access around you, like so many other things around us every day. And then when every woman feels comfortable with the tech, obviously the curiosity, arrives and it's there. And like I said, my personal path is very, very, very related to the curiosity and my thirst to learn more and understand more and really be able to connect the dots more than what I actually do. And then obviously, if that's the atmosphere around anyone, you're fearless around any innovation and ready to jump in and explore, and obviously the whole thought of how the future will look, how tech savvy it should or could be or not, starts to feel very different. And obviously we are on our way to a decentralization, which obviously is not there in every possible way. And it's only through uh, confidence, through knowledge, through acceptance, that we can continue on that path. And the challenge of true decentralization obviously is to let go of control. So like I say, for instance, in crypto talks, let's put it this way. Yes, personally, I kind of joined the revolution in the beginning. I want my money where I want them to be. I want to spend them however I want to spend them. No one should control me. My bank should not ask me questions. It's my money. I do whatever I want with them, right? So it's mine. And I have control over it, and no one should tell me what to do. But if I choose to join the crypto side of technology, with the freedom comes the responsibility. Then it's my wallet, then it's my money. No one else has access to it. So if I lose my key, the money is gone. I cannot call whoever in wherever and say, I lost my password. I can't access my cryptos, whatever. So they're gone. So this applies for me here as well. So in order to the future to look decentralized and to look um, diversified for all of us, it should happen with having the technology and the access to the technology very cozy, comfortable, easy around us at all times, in a way that it brings us together. And the togetherness and the community driven things, like Zara says, that really feeds the innovation and innovative thinking, people getting together, brainstorming, and then all the creative minds there, one with tech knowledge, others with marketing knowledge, others with financial knowledge. What better could come out from all of that? But that requires the trust, right? So we are all here for the same reason and with the same goal. So there is nothing easy here, obviously. And it's so easy to talk about all of this. But then again, for me, it all starts from having an open mind, be curious, carry common sense with you at all times, and use the instincts, because yes, I believe they are very strong and there as well. And then
That's
future
really
looks
good point.
exciting and bright.
Thank you very much, Anita. I think a lot of values are really, really required to enter any kind of market. And when we are talking about decentralized tech or decentralized finance or even decentralized the Web3 generally, it's not just about the tech itself. It's about a lot of things: marketing, media, social media, writing, explaining, and we have like the tech people behind, the builders, the strategists, a lot of things that can be really the entrance for many many people to go, even whatever the background is. And yeah, I want to really to ask the same question to Zara. Zara, what you think that is the powerful step that could truly make decentralized tech more inclusive?
I mean, I agree with everything Anita mentioned. However, the reality is a lot uglier than that. What it takes to make that world more inclusive is more capital to less included less included people in investment. More capital to female founders, more capital to developing countries, more capital to African founders, more capital to Latin American founders. Uh, Capital flow out of Stockholm, capital flow out of Silicon Valley, capital flow out of Dubai, capital flow out of Singapore to Philippines, to Vietnam, to Malaysia. That's what it takes to make it more inclusive.
That's just amazing, and it's very important. And I believe that it's also pivotal, a vital point, the capital and the encouragement in the way that the market really grows efficiently. So generally people start with this, but I wanted to wrap up with it. And it's just briefly, I wanted to know your stories, girls, how you enter the market and how you grow in it in a brief way, please. Zara, you can start.
Yeah, well, my story started in 2012 in this industry. Back then, I was a fintech entrepreneur, was running a fintech company, happily travel tech and fintech. And then I was warned by my brother not to get involved with Bitcoin because he was afraid that I will get involved in money laundering. And then I got curious what Bitcoin is about. So I started reading the white paper and I fell in love with it on the same night. I was like, this is everything I wanted, because I fell for the philosophy of it. I mean, I think they include the inclusivity, the anti-corruption, transparency, decentralization, immutability of it made so much sense to me. And then I started practicing. I'm an engineer, I'm a builder. So as soon as the smart contracts on Ethereum were launched, so thanks to Vitalik, and I started building and, I started experimenting. So I've built blockchain solutions in many different industries. Meanwhile, in 2018, I did my PhD, started my PhD in blockchain, and I was chief solution officer in the biggest Nordic blockchain company, and I built layer one, crypto games, fashion, digital product platforms in every industry you can imagine. And then 2 years ago, then I left all of that, and with two other great co-founders, we started Focus Ventures, a venture studio, an investment firm, and now we are happily growing, and we have portfolio companies across the world. And yeah, so that's my journey.
Amazing. Thank you very much. Anita, please tell us in brief way if possible.
Well, yeah, that's a challenge. There's no short first, but I do my best. End of 2016, I was doing business consultancy in the region, going to meetings together with some colleagues. One of them had found Ethereum white paper, did not stop talking about it. Every taxi ride, every waiting to meeting to start, whatever, this person was all about that. some point I was like, okay, I want to hear what this is all about. I buy your coffee, we have a meeting, you tell me. He had the coffee, but then the meeting was more like, I don't understand so much yet myself, so I can explain. But I'm going to these meetups. And there is people who are really know and understand and have been involved for a long time. So why don't you join? So I went there with my curiosity to ask my questions. And from there, eventually, some couple of months later, a Chinese lady who was building her own layer one protocol, she hired me as their CEO for Europe. We traveled the world for 1.5 years. The one thing led to another. I was spending some time in Malta, and I started to interview all the celebrities that were coming, industry celebrities that were coming into Malta at the time. So I was speaking to quite a few, met in person quite a few. And at the same time, I had understood that, okay, there is no one here who can, with one go, explain to me anything so I would understand. So obviously, the space needs a granny who goes and asks the questions and then converts whatever she's told to something people actually understand. So, in short, that's how Crypto Granny was born in 2018. And ever since, I've been advising projects, I've been part of projects, working with them and for them. And then Syntopia came up approximately 2.5 years, a bit more ago. And then we started to build on that. So yeah, I'm on a mission to involve everyone in the financial and technological future already today. So that's what I do, and that's my path.
Amazing. Thank you very much, ladies, for being here. I also wanted to tell my story in crypto. My background is in applied statistics and econometrics. When I went to the university, I studied about how the business roles, and I all the time found the accessibility. Like in the third world, more than 60% of the people don't have the right to access to the bank system and have a bank account. That thing I really found it unfair. And in the same time, when something turns a non-value maker country to make it very rich, and the value makers company or countries are not that rich as compared to something, the criteria I found them really unfair in finance. And I all the time think that the monetary system over the decades, over the years, it changed before, and because of the treatment, how it was treating the audience, how it was treating the people, how it was to everyone. And in every step, there is a revolution in terms of something. Something is going to change, And after, I don't know how I really knew about the Bitcoin, but the first thing I got amazed about Bitcoin, I heard about it in 2019 and in 2021 when the market was like in the peak. I just wanted to check a wallet I got when I was in 2019, and back then it was very small amount as compared now to what I know. But back then I thought, oh, I'm rich, something like that. And yeah, since there I really went to the white paper. I think it was the first thing I really read about the market, and then I understand like this is something that will eliminate a lot of corruption. Currently, people talk about corruption and relate it to the cryptos because it's actually transparent. Everything on blockchain. So when something happening, everyone is aware about it. And it's not like the traditional system where a lot of scandals, a lot of big problems happen, but no one is aware of it or know about that because there is no transparency. There is nothing like a public blockchain that announces the transactions and it's like easy to follow and things like that. So yeah, that, and after, like, since I came to Dubai, honestly, all the opportunities that come to my table was all in crypto, and they was like, why? And after, yeah, I just find myself in the market in a way, and I love it. It's really evolving in a nice way. It's a market that you really, the prediction are not correct all the time. I all the time say that, but this is what makes it interesting. Like, you are waiting to the next day, what's going to happen, what's the factors that really play the role in shaping the future in this. It's not final yet. Before, the people, or like the everyday investors, they used the market, they made the market, and after the crypto exchange, after they got the power, like backed by the users, they also made the market. And after now, I think the regulators are really shaping the market as well, and it's turned into something really, really interesting, really, really nice. And I'm just in love with this market now. So big thank you to Zara Zamani from for Plus, and also for Anita for sharing such powerful insights and personal experiences about females in AI and Web3. And to everyone turning it around the world, thank you for being part of GPUVerse live dialogues. This was actually the 9th episode again. And today reminds us that inclusion isn't just a goal, it's also a growth driver. Because when more women will lead and innovate, the entire tech ecosystem becomes stronger, fairer, and more human. So thank you
Thank you so
again.
much
And
for having me.
Thank you very much. Pleasure.
so at GPU.net, we are building a decentralized compute layer that empowers everyone to create, deploy, and own part of the future of AI. Thank you, everyone, and have a good evening.
Thank you.
Bye bye.